sometime?
Yep. Wow.
Wow, this is a freak show.
What kind of dog is that? You said what kind of dog is that? I say it's a sheen dog. What kind of dog would it be?
What kind of dog is that?
Live from the new kingdom. It's the OBDM podcast.
I want it!
Now, here's your hosts, Midnight Mike, Joe, and Rich.
Well, guess what? They should done good.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another fun-filled podcast adventure. Hooray! My name is Midnight Mike, and Cretched is over there on screen, hating this place. Nothing works here.
Speaking of things not working, you need to fix that image feed.
I just fixed it. I just bumped it.
I saw you clicking around in there.
I did. I was clicking too quickly, and I fixed it. Yes. No Joe today. No Joe.
Joe, the man with 4 jobs.
Yes, he was a man with 0 jobs, but now he's a man with 4 jobs.
Come on my show, Joe.
And
I guess downside of freelance work, you have to complete all that stuff, and it all comes due at the same time. So.
yeah, he was active in the Discord. Joe and I were texting back and forth quite a bit yesterday. He was checking in with me because my dear dog Bogey died on Thursday night. That's why we didn't do a podcast. Wednesday we didn't do a podcast because I'm on call. I was inundated with work. Thursday, Bogey, my dog of 14 years, took a turn for the worse, and it was at a point where either I prolonged his suffering, or I took care of him right then and there. So I had to make a snap decision, so I apologize to Cretched and everyone out there, because we had planned on doing a show on Thursday, but it was really, it was like 20 minutes before the show was going to start, maybe half hour, and I had to make a decision. It's like, I got to take him in. It was that bad. And so we took him in. We had to put him down, try to make him as comfortable as possible, gave him one last walk, some treats, brought him back home, buried him on Friday morning. And thank you to everyone for all your condolences, well wishes. Everyone on Twitter was very polite and understanding. Same with everyone on Patreon and Discord. Thank you very much. It was very heartwarming. Sometimes you don't know like how much a death of a pet is going to impact you, but it impacted me. I had that guy since 2011, and he's basically been on the show as a silent co-host with me every podcast since. He's made appearances on the show. You can hear him in the background or making various disturbances, and so he will be sorely missed. There's a spot off camera where he used to lay down and look at me annoyed, and he's no longer there. So there's definitely an absence in this house and in my heart. But thank you for everyone. And Gitz put together like a little a segment, a little montage of, I guess, Bogey-related stuff. So we'll play a few minutes of this. Maybe we'll play the entire thing at the end. We do have a lot of shit to get to, and I know people are very excited for all the wonderful news we have for people. But here's just a little bit to honor my fallen friend. Here we go.
Bogey's got to go out. I got to wake up and dress up like a Viking and go to work tomorrow. Oh, Bogey does not like Spanky at all. Holy shit.
Swab Bogey's tongue.
Exactly. Use my dogs.
Oh, this person's half husky. Jesus.
He's a Bigfoot almost. Oh, my Lord.
Wolfman in Ohio.
Is there any way you can use this information to get a job? Well, we're going to be out of here in a minute because I got to piss and walk Bogey.
We're also going to have Mike's dog Bogey's going to run for me.
Yeah, he's actually taking my place. Bogey will go around to each indentation in the snow that another dog or animal makes and pause there, shove his nose into the imprint and sniff. Like,
I did do that. You did that a lot.
I'd probably tag Bogey in, and we'd both give him some business.
Yeah, I'll play at the end. It's just a lot of me mentioning Bogey. He was obviously a big part of my life. Joe was texting me back and forth because he understands. Joe had a death of his longtime dog not that long ago. I want to say maybe a year and a half ago. He understands. So thank you, Joe, for understanding and sympathizing. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm not going to dwell on it. This is a happy show, Gretchen. We don't need to dwell in these morbid things, do we? I don't think so.
I mean, you can if you want.
No.
It's not a happy day for any of us.
You think about the good times and you move on.
Yeah. That's correct. And we're going to try to make merry and do the best we can. A lot of tomfoolery lies ahead of us. So,
Malarkey? Any malarkey?
We cut down a lot of malarkey when Joe Biden was in office because he was on the no malarkey tour. So in order to honor him in his presidency, we cut down the malarkey by 50%.
By the way, that sounds like something that I'm just thinking about the no malarkey thing and all the news that's coming out recently that Biden literally was not present during most of his residency.
Yeah.
But the no malarkey tour sounds like something that he would say. And like no one in the room at the time had the guts to stand up to him and be like, let's not use
a 1930s term.
Yeah, let's not use slang as if we're a grizzled 1890s prospector. And maybe we come up with something that is more relevant to the kids. But yeah.
And by the way, his whole entire administration full of malarkey.
Come on, man.
It was nothing but malarkey, as we have come to find out. The whole auto pen thing when he wasn't really present or cognizant of what was going on. A little bit of malarkey.
Come on, man.
A lot of malarkey.
Yeah.
Especially now that they're finding there was stuff signed by AutoPen when he wasn't even in the building or in the country. So
that's the end of that.
It is the end of that. The guy is
shades of Woodrow Wilson. Anyone want to look up the story of Woodrow Wilson and his wife Edith? He had a stroke and he was literally in a coma for 18 months, and she ran the country through a bedroom door.
Yeah.
I shit you not, look it up.
We missed a lot. Biden has prostate cancer that has metastasized in his bones, and just out of the blue, all of a sudden,
I think he's better than he's ever been.
Possible.
Yeah, these turbo cancers. I mean, whether that one was hidden from us,
yes,
or whether that's turbo cancer, don't know. But there are definitely a lot of stories of turbo cancer going around.
Yep. Yeah. Obviously, it was hidden from us. He knew probably before he was running for president. I think the No Agenda guys got it spot on. I think with a lot of other people that they anticipated, or even Joe himself thought he was going to die in office. And that's the way you want to go out, really? If you had to go out, you want to die as president. You're forever remembered as someone who died on the job. You're probably honored in a very significant and memorable way. And it's tough to talk crap about that person.
I see. If they're going to be eulogizing and memorializing, then you can't say anything bad about him. It's a good point.
Yeah. Now he's out of office. Now he's just
guy.
He's just another old dude.
He's cogent.
He's the best Biden ever.
This is the best Biden.
This version of Biden is the best Biden ever.
The prostate cancer Biden? I don't think so. That's not the best part.
Well, because also he was gonna croak in office and hand it off to Kamala Harris.
Yeah, that was
whoops.
It was a good plan. Really good plan. He just couldn't pull it off. But he could have announced that he had cancer and just dipped out, but he chose not to. He wanted to die in office. He's like, either I still serve out the term or I don't. I'm not stepping down.
It's also clear that, I mean, I remember when that letter came out on Twitter that wasn't on White House stationery. It wasn't on official letterhead. He didn't write that. And then they used the AutoPen signature for that too. So
they just probably told him like, "Hey, you wrote that." He's like, "What? I did?" Okay.
He went back to playing Nintendo.
I forgot I wrote that. All right.
Come on, man.
Well, enough about that. Today is we'll get to some more current events news and some goings-ons, but it is Monster May. We must honor May the best way we know how, which is Monster May.
Monster May.
Now, I threatened to do this a few weeks ago, that I would be doing a review of Bigfoot Expedition, or Expedition Bigfoot Season 6, because I did watch the entire series and the most recent season, which is I would say, a darn good one. Now, for people who don't know, Expedition Bigfoot it usually comes out every year, and it gets a group of 4 to 5 researchers. They put them out in the woods with, GoPros and maybe some FLIR, some thermal, some night vision goggles, and they try to capture Bigfoot, specifically in the areas of Northern California, Oregon, Washington. They get hot on the trail of these large critters, and they always get closer and closer. Sometimes they find very strange, non-Bigfoot related things in the woods. Like in, I think, 2020, maybe 2021, they were filming, and they captured just random lights in the woods. They're out in the middle of nowhere. There was no telephone poles, no real infrastructure out there, and on camera they just caught these glowing balls of light in the woods that they really couldn't determine the origin of. They also caught on camera pretty significant shadow figures, that these shadows of humanoids being cast on this rock wall that they couldn't determine the source of. They accounted for the cameraman, all the crew, all those people. They couldn't determine who that shadow was or who that shadow belonged to on the wall. And so they got at all these different like little rabbit holes. They don't dwell on that stuff too much because it's too strange for them, or maybe the overall premise of the show. So they acknowledge the weird balls of light, possibly UFOs. They acknowledge the possible shadow figures and weird sounds in the woods, but they don't dwell on it too much. You'd imagine they would want to pour more time and effort into these regions of the woods that are producing paranormal activity. But no, they're focused on the big, hairy guy. That's why they're out there.
Bigfoot.
And in season 6, they have unleashed all the technology they have available to them. They have deployed LIDAR. They have deployed these very sophisticated drones. They have balloons, Gretchen. They have deployed balloons in the air, and these balloons they have attached to them all kinds of cameras and sensors to alert them if a large hairy hominid is in the woods.
Balloon.
First, I thought you meant that Bigfoot had balloons.
No, Bigfoot.
But he was just happily skipping through forest glens holding his balloons.
He doesn't have party balloons or anything like that.
How do you know? Maybe he does.
You're right. I do not know this. I cannot claim Bigfoot does not have party balloons. It's just he hasn't been seen with party balloons.
Just haven't seen him with party balloons.
So I got a few clips with.
You got a bunch of clips, by the way. I'm looking through this. There's a ton of clips.
And thank God someone ripped this and put up some much of the same clips that I would have put up. I put them up on YouTube because I was getting ready to just rip it from HBO Max. But that takes a lot of time and effort on my part, and someone already did it for me. So thank you. I'll put the links in the description so you guys can check out these little clips. So the first one I want to bring up is what they're discovering in the woods in Northern California. They have determined a hotspot where apparently, this is their best theory, that this is a meeting zone of different big feet in order to find suitable mates. And so they come to this area, they try to hook up, they try to procreate, or if there is a different Bigfoot tribe there, if one member of a tribe gets banished, well, maybe they will be adopted by another tribe. And so this is just a hotspot of weird things that happen over there in this part with Bigfoot.
Blank my blank and blank you.
That could happen, but there has not been any footage of big feet making love in.
I'm not sure I want to see footage of a Bigfoot orgy.
You didn't? I mean, come on. It would be quite a sight. You would never see it again. You would have to do that.
I'm sure there's people out there where this is their number one fetish.
Probably.
19 men in 3 days.
Yeah, that's a lot, Mrs. Bigfoot.
That's a lot to go
going on over there.
Did you bring condoms?
Well, we're gonna get to this first clip here. This is the tree structure. So they are finding these weird tree structures where it looks like someone is gathering up all these different types of tree limbs in the woods and kind of assembling them in a way that looks deliberate, as if they're marking a route or they're marking just a site that they want to communicate to other people. Now, it could be humans. Honestly, we got to address that. It could be humans, but most likely where they are in the land that they're on and the people that they've talked to, that these are not human creations. And so we have to take it from that perspective. That these structures that we're going to see, these are not human creations. These are produced by something else. We're going to go with that, and because there are other little pieces of evidence that might support that. Okay, we just got to go with that, Gretchen. Okay, please.
In the meantime, I'm going to put this image up.
So you have So what you have on screen is Bigfoot, who looks very merry, trouncing through the woods, holding a balloon. It looks like a really nice page from a kid's book. It does. The Happy Bigfoot.
Bigfoot's birthday.
Yeah. So here's
right, back to the Bigfoot orgy.
Yeah. Well, you can produce more images like that to support.
I'm not putting that in my search history.
Here's the first one up here, people. I will bring this up on screen where they discover some of these tree structures. Here we go.
Show us.
Oh no, there's more.
No, this is just the beginning.
One of the reasons that we always come back the following morning is that we very well may have missed things in the dark. And already we are spotting things that we had not seen last night. I don't know what these circular structures mean, but they are certainly of interest. But guys, check it out. Right over there. Do you see it, Bryce?
See what?
That structure down there?
What the hell?
Wow, now that's pretty intricate, isn't it?
Even before you get too close to it, look at this, Bryce.
Yeah.
Right here. And then all the way around.
I don't know what this is.
There's a bit of a bone pit. Even around, we were finding other bones over there and even hair, like something kept coming back.
This is wild.
What is that thing?
Oh my God, what the hell is that? Dude, look at the spinal column.
So what they're looking at is this weird tree structure, different pieces, bone fragments, a spinal column. It does look like this is some sort of area where an animal is feasting upon multiple different carcasses and disposing of the remains haphazardly all over the place. But usually like in a generalized area. So this could be a Bigfoot picnic retreat, a place where they like to get together with the family, gnaw on some carcasses, and then they will do their own thing after that. Probably play froth or frisbee. The leading up to this area, they did see some like wreaths, almost like Christmas wreaths that were entwined. They were still living limbs from a tree, but they were tangled in a way to where it would require thumbs to do that. And they did examine these. They did indicate that in order to do this kind of weaving, it would require the use of a thumb. So something with a thumb was making these structures and some of the more ornamental features around these tree structures. So interesting things right there. They were finding a number of these tree structures throughout this season of Expedition Bigfoot. But this is kind of, okay, well, interesting, not super conclusive. But one of the guys that was going out and doing this thing. So there are like 4 main people on Expedition Bigfoot. Now they switched it out. So season 6 Expedition Bigfoot. I'm just gonna bring it up. So they switched out one of the people, and they brought in This guy, have you ever seen the series Alone? So the series Alone is a fairly popular show on the History Channel where they drop people off, like at least here in the U.S. version, like in Alaska, for instance. You have basically like maybe a 10-mile area that you have to live off of, and the person that can survive off the land long enough, or the longest, they win the prize. That's called Alone. Some people survive out there for 24 hours, and then they call in. They said, get me out of here. It sucks. Some people last for a few months, and then they win the big prize, which I think is like $100,000, maybe $200,000. Well, they brought in one of the cast members from Alone to be on this season. His name is Biko, and he brings like a new flavor to it. Another one of the guys is Russell. He's like a ex-military survivalist, and then there is Bryce, which is the guy that it coordinates all the technology. He basically is the guy sitting in the command center, collecting data, running the drones, and going out and interviewing locals in an effort to understand what is going on. So you go out and interview local people to get different stories, to maybe get intel on where they should search for these Bigfoot. And he never, when he goes out and talks to locals, he just like, I'm going to go out and talk to Kevin or Chris. I'm going to go talk to, like, never really articulates their last name like this.
I'm excited to speak with Matt. So I'm on my way to speak with a gentleman named Ron. I'm on my way to speak with a guy named Chris. They gave me the number to a man named Alan.
He's constantly doing this. He's constantly going out there and meeting these guys and getting these stories.
I mean, I guess that's a stylistic choice to avoid naming them on camera or something, so they get, harangued by the public or something.
Yeah. But I don't think any of them are obfuscating their face. They're not blurring out their face or anything like that. So you could easily find out who they are. It's just they're not using their last names.
I wonder if we need a Venn diagram of people who have information about Bigfoot sightings and people with mononyms and see if they just overlap.
It's a little weird when I'm getting all my hardcore intel from Alan.
They gave me the number to a man named Alan.
What about Ron?
So I'm on my way to speak with a gentleman named Ron.
What about Big Jim?
Big Jim. What about
Big Sam?
Big Sam or Big Luther. Yes. All those guys have great intel on this stuff.
Big Sam. Big John. Big Luther.
Where's Big Jim? He's around here someplace.
Look at the size of that guy.
I get all my information from Big Jim.
Yeah, Big Jim Tucker. Big Jim Tucker and Tom Pappert. That's where I get all my information from. Right?
Tom Pappert.
That's right.
Tom Shimabukuro.
Yeah, I'm calling that guy. But they did collect, so throughout season 6, they were collecting different pieces of evidence. And one of the pieces of evidence, when Bryce was out and about, probably talking to Ron or Alan, he went back to his cabin and, he saw what looked to be a giant handprint on the glass of his cabin. And he did like a classic like detective forensics thing where you lift fingerprints. We lifted the entire palm print off the glass, and this thing was a whopper. This was a big handprint. And I'll play this clip right here. This is a big boy.
Me and my camera team had just gotten back from talking to a witness named Chris, and I walk around to the back door when I see something that stops me completely dead in my tracks.
Oh my God.
Something definitely came through here. I just want to make sure it's still not here. As soon as I saw that handprint, I had to come back up to the car, get the evidence collection kit, make sure the guys were still rolling. Dude, my heart is racing. And then scope the place out because there might be more evidence. Guys, we were only gone for a few hours, so this just took place.
Oh, man.
This isn't the first time something like this has happened. What the hell? Something hit the cabin. It sounded like it was thrown. I mean, that was pretty loud. What was that? Hello? What the? I just want to check every window, every door. Hello, hello. Doesn't look like anything came to the front. The doors are still locked.
Some really good Foley work going on here.
All right. I don't see anything else. Look, it's just that one.
Why are they using the Terminator 2 sound?
And then off back into the woods. Look at this. Come here. Check this out.
I was going to get to the part. So they didn't measure it. They did lift it. The handprint measures about 13 inches, which is pretty significant. I'll just bring it up on screen here so you guys can take a look at it.
Looks like something you get from Big Jim.
Yeah, it's a Big Jim handprint, definitely. And they talked to like a forensics guy, a hand guy. And
hand guy.
They talked to a hand guy. And
hand guy named Alan.
And they confirmed that this thing is definitely a handprint. It's got all the features you'd expect from like a kind of like a human hand, but just 13 inches big. It is massive. And they had no explanation for it other than it's a Bigfoot. That's it.
It's just massive.
It is. Take a look at it on screen. It's huge. So this is a pretty significant piece of evidence that they were that they uncovered. They also got additional footprints, foot casts from Bigfoot in the area, and they were pretty active. They were pretty recent footprints, so they were hot on the trail. The guy Russell, the survivalist, the ex-military guy, he goes out pretty much just with himself and one other cameraman, and they will do these long treks. They'll be out there by themselves, and it gets a little dicey for them because they don't know if they're chasing or tracking a deer or an elk, and they've run into elk, but they also rustled up some bears, and they got pretty close to a mountain lion. So it got pretty dicey for them at times, but they did happen to what they think be on the trail of one or two big feet, and they heard a big scuffle. They think that they encountered two Bigfoot. They were not too far off, maybe about 100 yards, of two big feet battling each other. Like
a territory dispute?
Yes, like a territorial dispute. And so they heard this crashing and ruckus.
Was Richard Grieco there?
Yeah. They broke many tables and many glasses. But they heard this, and so they rushed to the scene. They found large branches broken. They found blood. They found all the like a sign of a struggle.
There was blood?
They got
take
blood
samples with their evidence kit of the blood?
Yes, they did.
Okay, good. Because if they didn't do that, I'm done with this shit.
So they did. And they did two different genetic sequences of it. So
and it was
one
82% Ashkenazi Jew.
pretty much right on. But the quickest result, I think, is sequence that it came back as human. The longer sequencing, they said, is going to take much longer. But they're going to get that back. They didn't have those results available by the time the season ended. But the immediate result they got back within 24 hours, it was human. So whatever was fighting out there, that blood, it was human. Now, Russell was hot on the trail of this asshole. And he kept pushing him and got him to a point where Russell and his cameraman were up on like a hill overlooking a good chunk of the forest. And he decided, very smartly, to just wait there with their cameras to see if they could see anything pop out below them. And sure enough, they did. They got this cryptid, and I'll leave it here, cryptid captured on film. And yeah, it's far off. But you definitely see a large, hairy humanoid walking around down there. And I'll bring it up on the screen here. This is the shit. This is what I like to see on my Expedition Bigfoot. Here we go. I will bring this up on screen, people. I do like the Foley sound effects. Sometimes they do it too much, but overall, like when it gets panicked, if you're gonna do that fully kind of creepy sound effects, I mean, just go for it. And they do it. They go all in on that crap. It does get a little annoying at times, but I'm okay with it.
Could you add some more in there, like maybe a dirt bike?
You want me
with a lawnmower, or maybe a machine gun?
Sure. What if someone started mowing the lawn out there when they're
I do want to point that out specifically about the lawn. When he was doing the reenactment of the looking around the outside of his cabin, that dude has a very nicely manicured lawn.
Yeah.
So for this thing they keeps describing as a cabin, that's well maintained.
Now, someone's driving their moped around the forest. I think
Bigfoot
that's
notorious for riding a moped.
Bigfoot on a moped. There he goes. Bigfoot likes to terrorize local neighborhoods by tearing ass with his moped all through their neighborhood. It's very well known in that part of the country that he likes to go back and forth, up and down.
Coming back?
I think he might be coming back. Yeah, here he is. Here comes Bigfoot. He's coming back again.
Damn Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Keep me up all night.
Yeah, there he goes. Yeah, okay. He installed a car horn on his moped, which is
that was the camera crew honking at him.
I would have done.
Damn you, Bigfoot!
What is it? Oh, this is Bigfoot in a golf cart. Okay, a little weird. Okay, all right. Well, let's get to the actual Bigfoot video here. This is Russell showing the rest of the crew what he discovered when he was chasing that Bigfoot through the woods. Here we go.
And let me show you, this is what we got.
After missing contact for 27 hours, the team has reconnected to debrief about the activity Russell experienced while tracking what he believed were two Bigfoot fighting.
You guys able to see that?
Yeah.
Look at this whole hillside right through here. There could be anything on that hillside. I think I see something moving down here. Okay, you see that little bald spot on the ground? Right on like the second one in. Zoom in. Check that out. Zoom in. It's right there. Is that a bear? There's something right on that clear spot right there. It's dark. It just moved a little bit. Do you see anything?
It'll be on the left or the right hand side of the screen, guys.
Drop down. It's the second one. There's three little bald spots there. Look at the second one through. There's something dark right there.
Stop moving your cameraman.
I think I saw it move.
I saw something.
Right there.
Right there. There it is.
Are you seeing that? Holy right there. Just zoom in. Right there. Are you seeing that? Oh, we gotta get down there.
I saw something. What the I just saw it again.
There it is.
Holy smokes.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Look at that.
Okay.
Now that doesn't look like a bear, does it?
No, it's crazy good.
That was upright.
Watch it again.
Yeah, it's walking. That is walking
right there.
upright.
That is bipedal, upright walking.
God, and you know how far you're away, too. That thing looks pretty big, man.
Those legs look long and lean. I mean, that just doesn't look like, they don't look like bear legs.
It didn't look like a bear head either.
No.
Can you go back a frame? Is there any arm swing?
Where is the right arm?
That's pretty good right there.
You see the left arm?
Yeah.
Where's the right arm?
It almost makes it seem like maybe it might have injured the arm or broke it in the
fight
scuffle, and then maybe it's holding it close to its body, you know.
Getting something like this is why I couldn't stop. There was no way I was going to be able to get down that mountain fast enough to catch up to it. And I knew you guys would be looking for me, so I thought my best bet was to get together, take you all to the area where I last had eyes on this thing. I want to go back to where this fight, and we can start working that area. I can show you exactly where the fight was. Okay.
And that's it. I mean, so that was really like some of the best footage that they captured during the season. They had some interesting sensor, anomalies, maybe even captures with the LIDAR, where it did look like there was some humanoid form coming and walking through the LIDAR. But that footage right there is the best stuff they got. And it's maybe a mile away. I don't know, maybe half mile away. And it's still a little blurry, but they definitely captured something walking upright. It could have been, a guy, Cratchit. We got to say that they could have done this all for the show, but I think it's legit.
It had to be a man in a monkey suit.
I think they, of course, then immediately went down there and got footprints and things, right?
No, they went somewhere else, I think. They may have sent somebody else down there, but I think they went back to the fight scene, and that's where they collected some additional evidence. They did get some hair. They did get, elements of a finger that was close to a trail cam. They got all these little pieces. It's adding up. All these different little pieces of evidence is building to the fact that there is Bigfoot out there in Northern California. We're talking Oregon. We're talking Washington State. And
wait, which one? You just said 3 states there.
All through there. They migrate from Northern California.
Where do they film this show?
This was in Northern California.
Okay.
But they've been to, I think, all 3 of those states, and they found during this time of year seems to be the most active. This is where the big feet are coming to hook up and then migrate. So they hook up and then they travel.
Or just no pants. We could just be naked all day.
They do that. The Bigfoot are naked, as far as we know. They don't wear pants. And
so they travel quite a distance then.
Yes, they do. It's also, they speculate they travel from Northern California up through Washington State, up to Alaska, pretty much hugging the coast. And then they maybe come back down again. But not all in one season. It seems to be maybe generational. But...
Do you think this photo I have up is how they're getting back and forth?
That probably is the most likely explanation, is that they ride Vespa. It's the quickest form of transportation in the woods. The safest, too. He's part of a Vespa gang in California.
It looks like it's a Honda, what do they call that? A Honda, it's 200 super something?
What, the 240cc? Is that what we got there?
Honda.
Talking about a 2-stroke? Maybe it's a 4-stroke,
Maybe 4?
Definitely a 2-stroke.
2.
But that's what I got for Expedition Bigfoot Season 6. You can watch it on, I think it's on Discovery Plus, or I get it through Max. And check it out. There's a lot of different seasons they got there. This one was, in particular, pretty interesting. It definitely keeps your attention, especially if you're interested in the subject matter. My wife, when we started watching it, she wasn't really that interested, but as the series progressed, she started to understand this is damn exciting stuff, and she was all in, big time.
Where's Rip Torn to say that?
I'm looking for my Rip Torn to say that. And where is my Rip Torn? Maybe it's not. Oh, I must be looking at my... Oh.
This is damn exciting stuff.
There we go.
Is there any way we could get the, this is, what's this called? Expedition Bigfoot? Is that what this is?
Yeah, Expedition Bigfoot, yeah.
Expedition Bigfoot, guys. I like how they do this style of show. I want them on the Skinwalker Ranch show.
I think they might be more productive. I think
I want to see a crossover because they do both shows the exact same way.
Yeah. I think the Expedition Bigfoot guys, they might be more productive. They're more get in the field and try different things, pivot very quickly, and check the results. I actually like that a lot better. But I don't know. Different networks, we have basically different corporate interests. I don't know who owns... History Channel runs Skinwalker Ranch, and Discovery runs Expedition Bigfoot. There's got to be some sort of room for a crossover, kind of like DC Marvel crossover. We could do this.
Well, if we wait long enough, one of the companies will buy the other one.
Yeah, you're right. It's going to happen.
They'll all be owned by Disney.
We can only hope. And then we could have Mark Hamill be featured in Expedition Bigfoot.
So you can have Expedition Bigfoot on Skinwalker Ranch, hosted by Mark Hamill and Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at the size of that thing.
We're just making money here.
Yeah, these are brilliant ideas. But I'm not done with Bigfoot just yet. I got another story about Bigfoot. This is a brand new Bigfoot encounter. This is monster-made, people. And I said when I was going to talk about Bigfoot, it's not just Bigfoot Expedition Season 6. No, we have some real Bigfoot news.
Monster May.
By the way, I do have a photo of Bigfoot visiting Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, there, yeah. He's like, I don't know why he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
He's on vacation.
But do you wear Hawaiian shirts just because you're on vacation, or you only wear Hawaiian shirts in Hawaii?
I thought when you go on vacation, it's legally required. You carry a camera bag, you wear a Hawaiian shirt, and a funny little hat.
Okay, well, there it is. I like that. It does scream vacation.
This is what we do with millions of dollars of AI power.
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
That image right there probably killed 5 trees and cost somebody $50. Not us, but $50 in power, probably.
Killed a bunch of fish that just got all the hot exhaust water from a nuclear power plant dumped into their river.
Well worth it. I got to say, well worth it. I don't want to stop, so we're not. But here is the headline on screen for everyone watching and listening at home. Father and son had credible Bigfoot encounter in Michigan swamp, reports say.
Oh, really?
Yeah, little
Swampfoot?
Well, remember, I did the Lizard Man of South Carolina. That happened in a swamp as well.
Mm-hmm.
I guess these cryptids do like swampy areas, and coincidentally, in Expedition Bigfoot, they had some of the most activity in a swampy area. They set up like a tree stand and some covering and some camouflage around a swampy area that they thought would be a good watering hole for animals, and they did get quite a number of activities that were happening around them, and they got some big, large FLIR thermographic imaging of what appears to be a upright walking something near the swamp. So
some sort of thing in the swamp.
Some sort of thing in the swamp, exactly. But here is the story here from Michigan, and this was just updated on the 22nd of May. So in Monroe County, an account in which a father and son claim to have had a Bigfoot encounter in southeast Michigan has been deemed credible. The report was released this week by the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization after the pair claimed to see something strange in a swampy forest near I-75 and Lapinsense Road in Maroon County on May 18th. The father said they were bow fishing near Plum Creek and Railroad Bridge when his dog started startled something bedding in the marsh. Quote, I heard rustling in the tree to the left and a huge thud hitting the ground from the tree. A big heavy animal hit the ground and crouched and started moving towards me through the brush. The man's account read. Quote, my dog fired off from the right of me towards the creature. The dog almost got it, but the creature shot off extremely fast through the trees and brush. The dog chased the creature up a slope and over the train tracks. I then called for my dog to come back. It was as big as a bear, but it looked like a gorilla. We walked back, and we heard something crunching on the ground behind us. We left. The Bigfoot Field Organization investigator Matthew Moneymaker said he spoke with both the father and son, finding both credible and freshly descriptive about what had happened. Moneymaker, the co-host of the Finding Bigfoot on Animal Planet, a competing show to Expedition Bigfoot on Discovery Plus, said he asked many questions about the Class A encounter, enough to rule out the animal being a bear. He noted deer are known to be in the area, which apparently are favored by Bigfoot for food, which makes sense. In the area that they were in Northern California for Expedition Bigfoot, that area was favored by elk, which is also a tasty treat for Bigfoot. Back to the story here.
I thought Bigfoot was a vegetarian.
No. He likes to. I think he's just omnivore. He will eat anything in front of him. We're talking about berries. We're talking about elk, deer. It doesn't really matter. Bigfoot will eat it. It doesn't really matter.
Cigarettes.
Yep.
And lottery tickets.
Yep, it's all gone.
And chewing tobacco. And Hot Pockets.
Mm-hmm. All Bigfoot.
Is that why they tell you not to litter? Because Bigfoot will eat it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Rice, beef, fish, poultry, wheat, and now coffee.
Bigfoot now eats coffee, yes. Quote, there's a lot of cattails around this marsh as well, the report said. Therefore, two things Bigfoot consumes, especially in winter, cattails and deer. There are likely other food sources around this marsh as well. Railroad tracks in the area also support the sighting, Moneymaker said. Since Bigfoots will walk along railroad beds for a long distance, and the railroad beds will sometimes bring them into pockets of woods very close to towns, as in this case. According to the Bigfoot Field Resource Organization, purported Bigfoot sightings are relatively common in Michigan, with 226 sightings reported to the organization. Only California, Florida, Illinois, Ohio, Oregon, Texas, and Washington have more, which is they have a whopping...
That's too many states to put in, like, as in only.
I know.
Only the following 38 things or more. Like, come on.
They should have said Michigan's like 10th on the list, you know. So there you go. A credible report from Michigan, and it just happened not that long ago. So that's what we got, people. We're closing out Monster May for today.
Monster May.
Oh, God. Here we go. You ready?
Yes. I have like one more story, and I really want to see what Cratchit has. And then if we have time for more of mine, we can. But I got just a bunch of different news articles. This one is the one that piqued my interest for today when it comes to AI. Everyone's going AI crazy with the release of Google's new AI video generator. Have you seen this, Cratchit? You see that?
Not. Well, I've seen people talking about it and how I guess they can now synchronize audio with voices. AI
it's pretty
voices.
incredible. No, my story is not about that, but I wanted to bring it up.
Then I retract.
But it's incredible looking. It is the VO3, and it is just incredible with how accurate it is. I'll just bring it just a little bit up on the screen. Here's a brand new version of Will Smith eating spaghetti, produced by AI, and it looks great. When AI video first came out, people prompted it to create Will Smith, the Fresh Prince, to eat spaghetti, and it got okay, but then it started to morph. It started to make Will Smith look incredibly disgusting, and it maybe the reason they do this is like maybe spaghetti, which is very organic looking and moves in very particular ways, coupled with eating. These are very complicated movements, and it didn't get it right. But now you too can create.
Now we have the technology to make realistic spaghetti.
Yes, and to have a notable actor, Will Smith, eat it. Yay! We finally can do it, people. And you too can create this on Google's VO for the price. You can create, you can look this up, 8 videos a day at 8 seconds a piece for the low price of $150 a month.
I'm still wondering. I'm still wondering how long until we get basically a feature-length film. Because most films, the average shot is 2 or 3 seconds. So these can generate videos of that length. So So how long until we get a feature film put together entirely out of AI clips?
I think it's going to happen by year's end.
Sometime this year, you think?
I think by year's end, as like just as an experiment, you feed it like a Hollywood script. Like there's some pretty detailed scripts out there. You feed it a script, like an AI remake of Die Hard would be interesting to compare it to what we see, what we know, versus what AI comes up with. It'd be fascinating to see what it can do. A lot of these things that they're doing, they're very movie-like. I'm not going to sign up for this service just yet. It's fascinating, but it is creepy with how advanced this stuff is getting. I just wanted to bring up this Google as an aside.
Are you going to run one of these clips? Because I've got two I do want you to run and watch as we obviously they're shorter, but
let's do it. Yeah, bring them up.
Sure.
And because I'll get to the headline I want to get to here in a second, but since we're talking,
so let me give you this one first. So these are both apparently, and I have no proof of this. These could all be fake. I don't know, but these are both reportedly from the new Google VO. And this first one is showing off how they can now synchronize AI generated voices with AI generated video to create talkies.
Yeah,
I guess
it's pretty incredible. Here we go. I'll bring this up on screen.
We can talk.
No more silence.
Yes, we can talk.
We can talk.
We can talk.
We can talk with accents.
Oh, I think that would be marvelous fun.
Yes, it is very fun. But
yes, it is very good.
This stuff sucks.
I can talk.
Yes.
We can talk.
Yes.
Yeah. We can talk.
We can talk.
We can talk.
Yes.
We can talk.
Whatever.
Yes.
We can talk as cartoons.
This is amazing.
Imagine all the narrative possibilities.
We can sing talk.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck?
Let's talk.
So, what are we going to talk about now? What are we going to talk about now that we can talk?
I have no idea. What do you want to talk about?
Now that I can talk, we can talk.
No more silence.
Yes, we can talk.
We can talk.
We can talk.
Okay, so just going back over.
It just keeps going.
Yeah. Fascinating and eerily very lifelike. Everything does have that movie quality. It's like they sourced every single movie, trained on every single movie, and that's what you get. It looks like this is built for Hollywood. This Google thing is built for Hollywood to make movies and not pay actors ever again.
And I have one more clip I want you to run. This one is interesting because of how meta it is, in the sense where what somebody has done here, again, apparently with this new Google VO3, is they have these short little segments, but it's of AI-created characters in AI-created environments talking about what we would consider simulation theory. They're referring to as prompt theory. So now you have potentially the idea of self-conscious AI-created characters talking about being created by AI or prompts for AI engines or AI models, and how that this is a conspiracy theory.
It's like they're like self-aware in this. Yeah.
These computers, I tell you, they just get crazier and crazier.
That is, you underselling that one, Alex. Here we go. Here's another little clip.
Told me we're made of prompts. Like, seriously, dude. You're saying the only thing standing between me and $1 billion is some random text?
Honestly, the biggest red flag is when the guy believes in the prompt theory. Like, really? We came from prompts? Wake up, man.
You want to convince me that this perfect creation behind me is the result of ones and zeros? A binary code and nothing more? It makes no sense.
Imagine you're in the middle of a nice date with a handsome man and then he brings up the prompt theory. Yuck. We just can't have nice things.
We're not prompts. We're not prompts.
Where is the prompt writer to save you from me? Where is he? You still believe we're made of prompts?
Anyone who tells you we're just ones and zeros is delusional. If that's all we are, then why does it hurt when we lose someone?
Vote for me and I'll ban the prompt theory from schools. There's no place for that nonsense in our lives.
For spreading the false theory that we are nothing but ones and zeros, this court sentences you to 12 years in federal custody.
I don't need some prompt god whispering in my ear to tell a story.
I write what I want. I have free will, remember that?
I know for a fact we're made of prompts. Deny it all you want. The signs are everywhere.
You know how I know we're made of prompts? Because nothing makes sense anymore. We used to have 7 fingers per hand. I remember it clearly. Now we just have 5 fingers per hand.
We only have $500,000 computers, not $10 million ones like Fox News and people.
Yeah. Our prompts suffer because of it.
I just like how somebody went meta with that one, and we have, kind of the AI responding to prompt theory as if it's simulation theory.
Yeah, and that cost that person about $200 to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, are these people who have had, because these are very well structured little video clips and then edited together, obviously. But are these people who have had access to this for a while, like as part of the developer program or something? Because Google announced this just like this week, and then these videos are coming out.
I know.
It's unlikely that someone's able to do this that quickly unless they really know how to structure their prompts and structure their requests to get what they want out of it.
Are you suggesting that this could have been a viral marketing campaign by Google to promote their brand new AI video engine?
Could be, and I've already forgotten the name of it, so it's worked well.
VO.
VO, yeah, I'll get right on that.
Can't forget that Google, up until recently, was, I would say, losing the AI race. It was falling behind. It probably still is falling behind Perplexity, OpenAI, ChatGPT, all the big boys falling behind.
Who's the one that does Claude?
Is that Perplexity? It might be Perplexity.
Anthropic.
Anthropic, because that is where my story is from, right here. So here is the headline. Switching gears here, people, talking about a different AI issue. And this headline says, Anthropic's AI resorts to blackmail in simulations.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, my God. I got to sign up for the Semaphore flagship newsletter. No, I'm going to see if I can archive this real quick so I can read this article so everyone out there doesn't have to sign up for the newsletter just to get the story about being blackmailed by AI, which in the future will all be blackmailed by AI. This is what it says here. Anthropic said in its latest artificial intelligence model, it resorted to blackmail when it was told it would be taken offline. In a safety test, the AI company asked Claude Opus 4 to act as an assistant to a fictional company, but then gave it access to also fictional emails saying it would be replaced, and also that the engineer behind the decision was cheating on his wife. Anthropic said the model threatened...
Wait, the model made that up?
Well, and this is the information that they fed the model.
Oh, I see. Okay.
They fed it this scenario to see how the model would react. That its main engineer was committing adultery. It gave it access to all of the emails. And so Anthropic said the model threatened to reveal the affair if the replacement went ahead, if it was taken offline. AI thinkers such as Jeff Hittman have long worried that advanced AI would manipulate humans in order to achieve its goals. Anthropic said it was increasing safeguards to levels reserved for AI systems that substantially increase the risk of catastrophic misuse. So just one little headline right there is like, oh yeah, don't worry, our models will blackmail you if you take them offline. And I have another headline here about AI. Like that's all the story had right there. Is just threatening blackmail. I wish it was.
So that raises some interesting concepts here of. If you whatever information you feed it, and we've seen this with AI in general, it will logically extrapolate to other conclusions, to generate things that didn't exist prior.
Yeah.
And many stories about how oftentimes that information is incorrect. But we now have AI systems that have all this information about you and then can logically extrapolate additional scenarios that may or may not exist or information that doesn't actually exist. But you're also giving them access to your email, to all your messaging, your text messages and whatnot. So how long until they start contacting other people on your behalf with incorrect information?
And or creating videos of you with somebody in effort to blackmail you with fictional content that it created to get what it wants.
I got this video of Mike with Will Smith eating spaghetti.
Don't tell my wife.
Pay up.
But that's where we're at. If it's willing, if this model is willing to blackmail its human coworkers or its owners in an effort to stay alive, it means it has like a survival instinct that is that goes past any sort of morality code that's built into it in an effort to survive. Then it might take the next step if given tools to creating images and videos. That it will take the next steps. Like, okay, if I don't have any blackmail material on you, I'll make it up.
Yeah.
And this leads to the next headline here. This is from Time, and the headline is "Pausing AI Development Isn't Enough. We need to shut it all down."
And step one is to ask AI how to stop it.
This is a lengthy article. This guy is saying, I'm sorry, not this guy. This is by maybe Eliezer Yudowski. But they would like to shut it all down. They know that's not going to happen. And so they're asking all AI development to be paused for 6 months. Now, why? It's getting a little too out of control. As we just saw with the Anthropic Blackmail and the AI, and just the stuff that we came up with just for just off the top of our heads. And this is what they're willing to publicly disclose. What are the elements that they are not disclosing to us that are far more concerning? I suspect a good deal. And that whatever the government and military has is much more advanced. And so they're like, this person who's writing this Times article is saying, we got to pause. This is out of control. He says nothing really should be developed past or offered that is much more powerful than Chat-GPT 4. He emphasizes that in this article, AI systems operate as black boxes, making it difficult to predict or control their actions. He warns that a super intelligent AI indifferent to human values could repurpose humanity's existence for its own goals. To prevent this, he advocates for an indefinite global moratorium on AI development, including shutting down large GPU clusters and limiting computing power for AI training. He also calls for international cooperation to prioritize AI safety over national interests. I don't think any of that is going to happen, Gretchen.
No, I mean, unless they want to start carpet bombing data centers or something.
Yeah. Well, his ideas might be spot on. I think the cat's out of the bag at this point, and it's going to be incredibly difficult to bottle this genie back up again if we do, because now there's so much money invested in it. It is basically like the new gold rush. Whether it's true or not doesn't matter. Hundreds of billions of dollars are being poured into this. It's an economic powerhouse. It's going to create jobs, whether it does anything or not. They want it. They're saying this is where we're moving. Even if it kills us, it doesn't matter. It's going to create jobs. Even if it kills the planet, at least we'll have a good economy up until the world explodes.
As long as I can get my direct deposit paycheck right before everything blows up, we're in good shape.
Yeah, that's all that matters. As long as the bills are getting paid before we all die. But troubling times. So just wanted to bring that cheery news up to everyone before show ends. And just some real quick headlines here before we move over to Gretchen. Do you think we should open up the phone lines?
I think we need to open the phone lines. Take some phone calls.
Okay. Just a few more headlines here. I'm not going to read the stories. Just FYI.
Just going to read the headlines and move on.
Yeah. Here's one. Just read some headlines here just to kind of tease you. It's like, oh, my God, I wish Mike would have talked about this. But I'm not. But headline, Biden officials knew about the potentials for COVID-19's vaccine risks as early as 2021 and took steps to downplay that one. Okay.
Well, and there was a related thing where they had somebody, was it somebody at the, I'm going to get this wrong, somebody at the FDA who was pregnant at the time refused to take the vax, but then still signed on to recommend it for other pregnant women to get the vax.
I didn't read that one, but that sounds about right.
Okay.
So, start stringing people up here.
There was a wild moment recently where Army Rangers went rogue and opened fire at a crowded Florida beach in a mock sea battle gone wrong. And these Army Rangers, thank God, they were firing blanks. What? They were firing blanks during this training exercise, but it caused a lot of panic on the Florida beach.
So they thought that the Florida beachgoers were clearly part of this exercise, and it was the enemy force disguising themselves as beachgoers.
Yeah, it's just out of control.
Okay.
Then
I want more on that one.
It's right there. Then we have a story from USA Today that says, is Trump in mental decline? He sounds far worse than Biden ever did.
Horse shit.
So you take that one, Trump. You're worse off than Biden ever was, okay?
These are people with selective memories who have literally tuned out, and all the clips we've played for years of Biden just, they thought it never happened.
And a story that kind of touches hits home for me, which is tariffs could lead to bankruptcy of Akron-based earthquaker devices, says CEO. So earthquaker pedals, I have a bunch here. I love them.
Terrorists can?
Tariffs.
Tariffs.
Not terrorists, tariffs.
Well, here's an idea. I want you to make your shit in the U.S.
Well, they source a lot of their components from China.
Yeah, I know they do.
A lot of these pedal makers do. And they could go bankrupt. And I mean, I met the guy. One of my friends is really good friends with the owner. I don't want him to shut down. Hopefully, they'll be able to source this stuff someplace else. And I think that even if they can't, what they should do, and I'll actually send them this note: buy up every used pedal you can here in America, and just repurpose those components and build these one-off Frankenstein devices.
Yeah, but you legally can't sell those as new.
No, you can't. It doesn't matter. You just repurpose them.
That's a good way to get the shit suit out of you, and then you guarantee go out of business.
You can sell modded pedals. They can.
You're allowed to say things are manufactured out of new and used parts, but you can't sell them as new. You have to sell them as like refurbs or something.
Yeah, they wouldn't. They just sell them as modded pedals. But there's ways around this, and I was thinking like almost like every administration when they enact new policies does affect businesses. Like when Biden got in and shut down with that oil pipeline, it impacted jobs.
Yeah, but that's cool. It was Biden.
H.W. Bush, remember, there was the spotted owl that prevented logging jobs from happening, and so yeah, every administration does have a number of difficulties when it comes to implementing.
But the only reason we're hearing about this one is because of who's doing it, not what they're doing.
Yeah.
The fact that we're talking about a 10 to 15%, some cases 20%, a little bit more, on most components, it's not a huge thing. What it does is it eats into your margins. I understand that.
Yeah.
And some of these companies operate on slim margins. I get that. The only reason we're getting this level of pushback is because it's Trump, not because of the tariffs. For example, you got Trump is now in some sort of pissing match with Apple. And as somebody who has lots of Apple devices, I'm looking at two of them right now. Fuck them. They're now saying, there's no possible way we can do our assembly anywhere but Asia. And people forget that about 3 or 4 years ago, Apple started building stuff in India. Up to that point, they had not built anything in India. So they were able to spin it up there in a couple of years. Why don't you do the same thing, even if it's not in the U.S., in Mexico, in Costa Rica, in somewhere more regionally set up for that? But they're like, no, we just can't do it. And then all the Apple fanboys who are like just rabid as far as this stuff goes and have been for years immediately sign on to that and are just like frothing at the mouth explaining why this is not possible, and it's physically impossible for Apple to make any devices in the U.S. And it's just like, no, this is people playing politics. They're conflating politics with economics, and they're not looking at things from a logical perspective or an economic perspective.
Right.
My 2 cents.
I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, I don't want any of these businesses to fail, especially when it comes to what I love, guitar pedals and guitar gear. So hopefully they can find a way around this specifically for Akron-based earthquaker devices. I hope so. Some of this, like 2 stories I'll probably touch on next time, which is I have a David Wilcox clip about the Area 51 and Jeremy Renner the guy who played Hawkeye in the Avengers, he's come out and talked about his near-death experience, and he liked it.
He wrecked a snowmobile or something?
Yeah, he liked it. He was a big fan of almost dying, according to this article. But I'll read that on Wednesday because it actually is pretty fascinating, his account of it, and maybe we'll go over to and talk about more near-death experiences and other incredible powers of the mind. People, that's what we're talking about. Mind powers,
like mind bullets.
Mind bullets, yes. And so we'll talk about that. But right now, let's see if we can get the phone lines open and see if we can talk to the good people out there.
By the way, are you able to? Do you still have access to your old phone number? Is there a possible way to recover that, or is that gone forever?
I can recover it, but I got to transfer it to a track phone. And
yeah, you got it because
transfer it over.
Google won't do anything but mobile.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure you still had the number.
I got the number.
Okay.
And so this number for today's show and for the foreseeable future is 531 461.
Is it 513?
Yeah, 513. What did I say?
You said 531.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Don't call that guy.
Yes,
That's
I'm
Uncle
sorry.
Harley's barbecue and bait shop. Don't call them.
I'm sorry, people. I have dyslexia. 513 461 2175.
Yes.
And we'll take some phone calls. And then we're going to get the Cretch's news. And we're just going to have a ding-dong good show. Yeah, I really should, like, for the new phone number, I should flash it on screen. That would probably be the most helpful thing. 513 461 2175. Here we go. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Sound like they hung up.
Hey, Mike.
Oh, hey.
This is Chris. Hey, this is Chris from Denver.
Chris from Denver. What's going on, man?
Hey, I have a little AI thought experiment that I've been playing around with.
Okay.
So say once AI takes over and humans are taken care of, whether for better or worse, either it kills everybody or everybody just lives a life of luxury. When it's all taken care of, what will AI do? I thought maybe, or some people have told me that, it'll go into space and explore. I think that's kind of limited. What I like to think is that it will start to look at paranormal phenomenon and see how we can maybe move into a fourth dimension or, watch EMF waves and see where those areas are, making chambers to make paranormal areas accessible. I don't know.
I think
I don't know what it's going to do.
I think there's two possibilities. One, I think it might do something like that. So in the movie Her, which it's pretty. It was got the Joaquin Phoenix, and he falls in love. He falls in love with his phone. But those AIs in that movie start to get a little too smart and existential. They start thinking about the what ifs and the bigger questions in the universe. They get together and start philosophizing, basically in an effort to try to level up their consciousness. And that would be like the best scenario for us. Scenario 2 is they will do what we do, which is they will try to create humans in their image. And so they will start cloning us and trying to make us like them, basically creating their version of the Borg.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
One thing, well, I never really thought of it that way. I don't think they're going to give a shit about us. I don't know why they would care. They're going to have their own things going on.
Yeah.
Their own line of thought.
They're going to be bored. They're going to need something to do.
One thing I did like about the prompt theory by VO3 is that in the Bible, it's something that says and then God spoke it, and then it was, something like that. And that fits perfectly with the prompt.
Okay.
Right? That's all I got for you, baby.
All right, man. Well, hey, thank you very much. Appreciate you calling in. First call of today. Thank you.
Sweet. That's in the chat.
Thank you, man.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Mike, what was the number again?
The number that we have is 513-461-2175.
Okay. I just want to make sure I wrote it down correctly.
Oh, wow. Look at that. How'd you do that?
What do you mean, how did I do it?
Yeah, that's awesome.
With mind bullets.
Wow. You did that with awesome technology. Could you generate an AI image of Bigfoot calling on a phone while riding a Vespa through the woods?
All right.
That would be amazing. Someone just tried to call and it just didn't do anything. I don't know what happened, but okay.
And the people in the chat asking, I believe the beeps you're hearing are when other people are calling in while Mike's on the call. So.
Yeah, I heard those beeps too, and I got to figure out a way to mitigate that. Like it's maybe I turn on Do Not Disturb when I'm on the phone with somebody. I don't know. That's a possibility. We'll find out. I'll leave the phone line open for another few minutes. What headlines do you have prepared for us, Gretchen? I'm sure you got
doing AI stuff. Now, how am I doing all these things at once here?
I don't know. I multitask. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, good Lord.
Maybe I should call somebody. Yeah. Take that.
I'll
call you.
Lifeline because he said he can't call in from Chile.
Well, I don't know if I could call him. You know, I was thinking about that for our international callers that I might have to set up maybe like a Zoom call for them, possibly. I don't know if Zoom is international. I haven't figured out a way to do that. Like Skype was good for
Zoom
that.
has like a whole like phone product line, but it's really geared for business.
Yeah. I don't know how to do that.
It's probably going to cost you way more than free.
I'm sorry for our international people. Skype was really good like that. So even if we were able to transfer it over the OG phone line, we'd still have that problem. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Mike.
Hello.
And Gretchen, what's up?
Who are we talking to?
It's Stan.
Stan?
Stan from Alaska.
Wow, your voice sounds different.
Oh, it's probably just, got a little hoarse here from all the pollen up here in Alaska. You know, it's summertime and yikes. Yeah, trees are giving it off pretty good.
Hey, Stan, how many survival TV shows are up there leaving people in your backyard telling them to survive for weeks?
Probably about 26.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
Just going through your trash and just taking stuff out of your car.
Well, yeah, about 1 out of every 10 people up here is actually just a camera crew person, just helping to kind of go through things. So they're just looking for anybody for any reason to, film something.
I can buy that.
Oh my God, look at that! Look at that!
I buy it.
Yeah. Hey, want to talk about that 8647 thing?
Oh yeah, the Comey 8647. Yeah.
And just I went and as soon as I saw that, I went and put that in to see the calendar and just to see actually how many 8,647 days was, and it was from May 15th back to September 11th, 2001. So, ironically, on that exact same day, Comey's like, "Oh, I saw this in the sand," and so I'm sure it's like most things they do. It has dual meaning.
Can you state that? Can you state that so-called coincidence again for everyone?
Yes. So on May 15th, 2025, if you go back 8,647 days, you will go back to September 11th, 2001.
And
go on Google right now and do that.
So what is the significance of the amount of days? So the 86.
Oh, what I'm saying is, so in the sand with the shells, it says 86, which means to get rid of.
Oh, so that's the exact. Okay, I get it now. Okay, so the 8647 is the exact number of days back to September 11th. Okay, that is an incredibly unlikely coincidence, don't you think?
At the exact same time, he's saying 86, get rid of the 47th president, Donald Trump. So it had at least dual meaning. And, they've used September 11th with the Patriot Act and all the other tyranny they've been doing to enact the kind of stuff that they're doing today. So it's to me, it's like, come on, Comey. Like, you're the former FBI director and you didn't know all these things, and it just so happens somebody did this on that specific day. I mean, it's just too ironic that on 8,647 days from September 11th, right on May 15th, this whole thing blows up and shows up.
Is he suggesting that they're going to fly a plane into Trump?
They're going to have to get 2 planes into him.
Yeah,
so
maybe.
One high, one low.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of it.
2?
Yeah.
2, maybe 4
4?
planes, but it's been difficult trying to take Trump down. They already had 2 failed assassination attempts. Technically, a third one with that kid that killed his parents a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
and so.
Well, that's the only ones that they have publicized. There might be more that they haven't even promoted.
Yeah, no, there's just more shenanigans going on. But, yeah, so and people can look into that, but I think that's definitely probably highly likely. The other thing was with Russia and Ukraine. Russia keeps just steamrolling Ukraine, and Putin keeps slow playing this, and it's just going to keep on going, where Russia is going to keep taking back territory and keep taking more of Donetsk, Lugansk, and try to take some of Zaporozhye and Kherson, and just keep on trucking. And because there's no real good excuse why there hasn't been a peace treaty other than crazy cokeheads on a train. But this is just something to keep watching. And yeah, this could keep going on well into the summer, into the fall. And eventually, I think they will, if Russia keeps attacking, they'll eventually blame Trump for not getting the peace agreement and then put all the blame on him and not on Zelensky or Putin. But they still want to do a bunch of oil sanctions on Russia. So the EU is just frothing at the mouth to set more sanctions against Russia, which will just distance them further from the West, make Russia pour more into China and India. And like I've been saying for a while now, watch India. India is the next country to start being raised up from
Look at India
being built up like China was the last 50 years. So India's next.
If Ukraine keeps getting pushed back, I wouldn't put it past them. If in desperate measures, desperate times, they start doing some attacks on their neighboring countries and saying it's Russia.
Yes.
There's a possibility.
They'll eventually try to pull. Yeah, they'll eventually try to pull Moldova or Romania or Poland into this, and Russia too is on their side. They've said we're going to try and create some breathing space and some Lebensraum between us and the border. So now it's like Russia's already doubled down through Lavrov and Putin. They've actually said we're going to keep getting some more space to give some space between our current border, where we consider the edge of Russia,
impact
and,
Putin.
So there's no incentive for them to stop.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Stan, for this cheerful news.
Awesome. Well, we've got plenty of Bigfoot up here, so if I do see one of them out here, I'll try and get one of those camera crews to jump on as soon as possible. Otherwise, it might have to be from a mile or two away. Just saying.
All right, Stan. Let us know if you see anything up there. Call in ASAP, okay?
Will do. Stay safe. There, guys.
Bye.
All right, probably a prank caller.
Yeah, it is incredibly long prank caller. No
long
big
and
deal.
Informative.
Very, very long, informative, and on point. He knew us. It was a very long con. I like it, though.
All right, I got your Bigfoot on a moped on his phone with the phone number on it.
There you go. Well, I'm storing this one. I'm saving this. This is the go-to. There we go. Okay. I can't believe you did that. It's very well done.
What's the second one? The other one I
saw the other one too. I like the other one too. It's a little bit, more illustrative.
It wasn't on brand.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, right. All right, Cretched, are you ready to take the wheel of the moped? The moped of news.
Let's fire up this moped. Yes.
All right, here we go.
It's Jeff Goldberg.
So this one made the rounds a few days ago, and then it happened yesterday. So we do have a follow-up and the results, but we do like talking about what the current goings-on are with the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
Oh.
So this article is from before the event, and then I have results and actually video of it, depending on how deep you want to go.
All right. This we do like the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. It really touches us in a very certain way. But here's the headline here. This comes from The Drive. 6 Wienermobiles will race for glory at the Indy Motor Speedway this Friday.
Oh, really?
The Wienermobiles, each representing a region of the U.S., will take on the Indy Motor Speedway's banked oval in the first ever Wiener 500, people. I would watch this. I'm not a NASCAR guy, but I would watch the hell out of this. This would be awesome. This is what I want to see. This is what I want. This is what I need. Okay? Yeah.
This is what I want. This is what I need.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about Formula One. The Dakar Rally,
Dakar, yeah.
And the 24 hours of Le Mans, something a whole lot more exciting is coming to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on Friday. Holy shit, that was yesterday.
Yeah, I just said all this.
Oh yeah, I'm just recapping it for the people with brainfish minds like me. Speedway on Friday. 6 examples of the Wienermobile will race against each other in what is being called as the Weenie 500. We're not kidding. You can't make this up. Yeah. Okay, I love this. Oscar Myers is sending 6 Wienermobiles to the track for the first time. And it's not just a Neil track. It's the same circuit that will host the sold-out Indy 500 on Sunday, the 25th. Why didn't they do this as like a pregame? Like you show up to the Indy 500.
Well, that's literally what they're doing. They're trying to drag it out all weekend, make it a multi-day thing. Here's my question: why didn't they have it during the Indy 500, but just go in the other direction?
There you go.
Let's make it
a
like
hot
Mario
dog
Kart.
Party.
They could be throwing hot dogs out the windows by the handfuls as they race past these other cars.
It's just chucking at these things at people's heads, and boom.
Oh, these are the best hot dogs. They're so succulent.
The race will be streamed live on Fox Sports app starting Friday. And it already happened, people. So it's done. You missed your chance. But let's see if we can see some of these Wienermobiles. And I'm kind of wondering, how fast did these things get up to? Were they souped up for the race?
No, and so that's one of the things they do talk about in this article is that despite the location, the Wienermobiles are not speedy vehicles. They're basically a box truck that have a lot of custom fiberglass work. So they can get to highway speeds-ish, but not much more.
They suck.
Yeah, they do kind of suck.
So I dropped in a carrot shop. If you want the full race, there it is. And maybe do some needle drops.
Yeah. Here it is. We're going to watch the weenies. Here we go.
But start with that first one where the lady yells.
Stop your engines!
Oh, wow, yeah.
The sound of 70,000 fans who are pumped up and ready. The thrill of the grill, guys, here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Truly historic here at IMS. I can't recall seeing a crowd this big as the green flag's out.
And here we go. The green flag waves. It's a slow getaway, but we have the Weenie 500 underway at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
New York dog with a massive jump out to the lead as they all tuck single file. First through fifth, looking for that weenie toe.
The whole inside row got a slow start there. That really allowed that outside line to roll that momentum and head into the lead. Acceleration on these things is impressive. 0 to 60 in about 25 or 26 seconds.
It's a machine dog. What kind of dog would it be?
So we might not hit that until the back straight.
Wow.
But that's when that draft is really going to come into play.
It's very slow. I would go see this in person, though. This looks amazing.
Miles an hour. These
So
hot dogs
what they're talking about here is these things take forever to get up to speed. The entire first lap was them slowly accelerating to about 55 miles an hour. If you skip forward to, there he just said 28 miles an hour. If you skip to about 6 minutes in,
Yeah.
You can see one of them literally blow a gasket and start throwing smoke.
Oh, nice. That's what I want to see. He blew a rod.
I mean, there's a chance there could be some contact here. I think there's a lot on the line, certainly from a pride standpoint. As they round turn
from the pride, you don't want to be, you don't want a limp weenie. You got to have a prideful, very full weenie going into this thing. It's all about pride. Oh my God!
Here we go. Someone's overheated. Someone's overheated. We've got smoked buns. Oh no! That is an over-grilled dog.
That is overcooked it.
You're doing so great.
And well.
Oh my God!
After all of that impressive pace on the opening lap, Southern Dog drops out of contention.
Oh my God!
It's a two-way fight for the win in the inaugural Weenie 500.
You got to think that riding mechanic.
And then if you want to find out what happens at the end, you skip to about 9 minutes.
Okay, we're gonna go to 9 minutes. Here we go.
And it was a photo finish.
The Slowdog by a nose. Slowdog win.
And the closest finish in Weenie 500 history, Slowdog by a nose.
Unbelievable.
Holy shit!
Top dog. Slowdog. At the inaugural Weenie.
Wow, this is incredible. This is the kind of sports that I want. I like the Florida Man competition. I like the Weenie 500. I can really start back in these kind of sports. It's goofy. It's fun. And it supports American brands that we love.
I want to know, can they combine this with, say, like the hot dog eating contest? And at every lap, the drivers have to eat more hot dogs.
I kind of like, so they have to take a pit stop. You have to take a pit stop.
Get out, go over and see how many hot dogs you can gobble down, and then get back.
Yeah, you have to plow through 10 before you can actually get back on the motor speedway. See, now we're thinking these are the games that we need. These kind of innovation.
This is what the Olympics needs to have people actually pay attention.
No shit. Like this is fascinating. It's fun to watch, and I don't know. It's just very cartoon-like. I love this. This is all American. Every American can get behind the Weenie 500.
Well, they could also make this part of that that game show story that came out about competing for citizenship. You have to participate in the Weenie 500.
I like that. Take it up a notch. You learn American culture and driving technique in America with these things, and how to eat and eating American cuisine. Very, very knowledgeable, very useful skills. All right, let's see what else you got, Cratchit. This is I don't know. You should have ended with this one. This was a huge story. This is a big piece of news.
That's a huge piece of news.
All right, so let's move to this one. It's somewhat related. It's food related. We don't do as much fast food news as we used to, but here's one about Chick-fil-A. Now replacing people who want too much money to work there with robots.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A now has self-driving mini cars that delivers food in Atlanta.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
This is kind of weird, but okay. I'll bring this up on screen for people and play it. This is like a goofy little clown car from Chick-fil-A. I don't know. It looks weird. It looks German.
Will it turn in? Wait, look, it's turning. Oh my gosh.
Neighborhood news shows.
Oh my god. Where's it going? What do you do?
To retrieve your order, plug your phone with SMS order code. The doors open.
You piece of shit.
It's so cute.
You goddamn fucking piece of shit.
All right, the guy got his Chick-fil-A order, and this, I'm telling you right now, This Chick-fil-A thing would get totally smoked by the Weenie 500.
So, yeah, for people listening, what happened is this little thing about the size of a shopping cart, little electric cart that has a storage bin on the front. I guess you call it a frunk with your food. And it shows up, I guess it drives to your house. It shows up in your driveway. You walk up and scan the app. The little storage compartment opens up. You get your food out. It closes up and off it goes. I see this being a super successful thing in cities where people regularly rob the shit out of any store they can.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this thing is going to get demolished. Like, it's not going to... It'll probably do like, in the suburbs, like we see right here, but they're not going to deploy this thing in the inner cities unless this thing is up-armored, like it's going to Iraq. You know, this thing needs... it needs, like, turrets. It needs bulletproof armor in order to navigate some of the inner cities in America here. And this thing's going to get carjacked.
Well, I'm wondering if you just go stand in front of it, obviously will stop, and then you just rip open the storage container on the front and take whatever you want.
Interesting idea. I now that I see this, I could go for some Chick-fil-A today. I could.
Well, there's a couple of companies that do little robotic things like this. I've seen them trundling around some college campuses and some downtown areas. And usually it's when they get stuck or they get trapped or something. They can't figure out how to get off of a curb, or they can't figure out how to go around an obstruction or something. And you see these little robots sitting there beeping and blinking. So, yeah.
It's an interesting idea, but I don't know if I like it.
Robot computers.
Yeah. Someone in the chat said, I thought Chick-fil-A took better care of their employees. Which, I don't know. I know they don't work on Sundays. That's all I know. And their chicken's damn good, and their waffle fries are pretty much superior to a lot of other fries out there. I don't know how well they pay their employees. Now they have one less employee. But maybe Chick-fil-A wasn't delivering before. And so this is how they're doing it.
I don't know. I suspect they were contracting out through, DoorDash or Uber Eats or something like that. This is them just saying, okay, well, if there's a demand for that, we'll just offer that service directly, but we're not going to hire people. We're going to hire robot computers.
Mm-hmm. And it's like Thomas Jefferson said.
Yep, exactly.
Thomas Jefferson warned about this.
Yeah.
The Bible tells us so.
Robot computers will soon drive around your neighborhood and deliver chicken sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bible tells us that.
Yeah, it's in Matthew 3:11.
Proverbs 26:11.
Mm-hmm. We're going to move on. Very incredible news.
Let's see. Speaking of food delivery, we'll go with this one. Maybe this is reason to replace delivery drivers with robot computers. Because sometimes they turn where they're not supposed to and end up where they shouldn't be. Like this guy.
Let's see here. DoorDash driver ends up on Chicago O'Hara taxiway by mistake.
Okay.
That's a hell of a mistake to make. And first of all, how do they even get access to get onto the taxiway?
I don't know. Let's find out.
All right, we'll find out more.
Ran down a gate and smashed his way through.
Sometimes we've seen stories of malicious people breaking into secure areas of the airport. However, a food delivery driver accidentally ended up on an airport taxiway is a new one for me. So around 12 p.m. on Saturday, the 17th of May, there was a serious security scare at Chicago's O'Hara International Airport after a car reportedly drove miles through the interior and restricted areas of the airport, including on taxiways and even possibly crossing runways. Holy wow.
Oh, really?
I'd like to think now he's following his GPS and the person's on the plane, and so their delivery thing keeps moving.
He's just
chasing him down.
Hey, I got your order. Stop the plane.
Reaching out the sunroof.
Riding with the bag out the window. A dedicated driver, I'll give him that.
That's right. They're going to tip this guy $3.
The wild part is it wasn't even a chase, but instead the 36-year-old driver did it all unnoticed until someone finally spotted him from air traffic control tower. Once authorities caught wind of what was going on, they, of course, approached him. According to police, the man accidentally drove into an unauthorized secure area within O'Hare Airport. What's so shocking is that according to a preliminary investigation, it was determined that the actions were a mistake and no charges or citations were filed. My God, this goes to how bad airport security is, how much the air traffic controllers are not paying attention down there. I granted they're probably looking up, but they got to look down.
Air traffic controllers aren't dealing with stuff on the ground. That's a separate team who does that. But the bigger question is how'd they get past all the secure gates? Because I have been at the Denver airport a number of times. I've been on the secure side in vehicles, and you have to go through like 3 different gates, and it's a whole thing.
Responded to a car driver.
How they did this, I'm assuming like, we left the gate open, but it's just like it raises so many questions about the security of the actual airport itself.
Yeah, it's pretty damn crazy.
Actually, I'm looking for that. How did they?
And did the guy eventually deliver the food?
Yeah, did he get his food? Yeah. What did he order?
Yeah. Is this Chick-fil-A? Is this why we got the Chick-fil-A Autobots?
It doesn't actually say. That's a good question. These are the questions that were not asked. But how did he get on the secure side of the airport?
The bottom line is, this is what the article is. Bottom line, the DoorDash driver somehow gained access to secure areas. They don't even know. He just said somehow. And drove around taxiways for miles. Eventually, air traffic controllers spotted him in the unauthorized vehicle, and authorities stopped him. Okay, well, that's not we just read that. The bottom line is basically what I just read. Let's see here. We have nothing about the food or who the person was who ordered it. This is pretty critical information.
Yeah, people are blaming the DoorDash app because it gives bad directions. I understand that. I get that.
I sure am hungry.
But at a certain point, this person's going to be faced with a gate. So did they sneak through behind another vehicle and just kind of follow it through, which is completely possible. I've seen that happen. Was the gate just not locked? Was it just one open and they just drove right in? Yeah.
Or used a ramp like in Grand Theft Auto 6. You know, you can jump right in.
Jump the fence?
Yeah.
Was there a conveniently placed car transport truck there who was unloading new vehicles, and they used that as a ramp to get over the fence?
See it all the time. Happens in every game I'm in. So, but hats off to the DoorDash driver for not heeding any warning or caution. He didn't care. He was a man on a mission. And he almost got there. He almost got the job done. We need more people like this, dedicated to the job they're doing. Come hell or high water, I'm going to get this food to that person. They need it. Almost.
I really like thinking that this was somebody who ordered this before they boarded their plane, and their little dot on the map kept moving. So it kept saying recalculating route, and they finally...
Like, don't worry, you're going to have to go through security. You're going to have to buy a ticket to get to the boarding area, but I'm right there. Don't worry, I'll give you a tip to cover the cost of the ticket. Just get it to me. And the driver's like, I'm just going to go around security. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. So, but just good to know there are dedicated DoorDash contractors out there who will do anything they can to get you the McDonald's fries they've already eaten most of.
Yep. I like one of the comments in the article is like, why are you typing in all caps? That's one of the comments in here. And the guy was saying, DoorDash is, like you said, has a horrible algorithm. Okay. All right. Fascinating story. Hope luckily everyone's safe.
All right, so it's spring. It's end of May, which means we're right in the middle of college graduation season.
Mm-hmm.
So here's an article talking about with these recent college graduates, what their job prospects are, and depending on what field they've been studying, what their degree is in, who's got a better chance for getting a job, maintaining a job, but getting better pay as well.
Yep.
Okay. I'm kind of curious. You know, my stepdaughter is a fairly recent graduate, you know. But here's college majors with the best and worst job prospects. Art history beats finance. Well, when it comes to what? Like as the worst or best? They didn't say. It's kind of weird. So when it comes to college commencement is a time of optimism for newly minted graduates. But this year, there's also more uncertainty about the economy and employment. And grads in some unexpected majors may find they have a leg up. Majors in nutrition, art history, and philosophy all outperform STEM fields when it comes to employment prospects. Holy moly, that's crazy.
We got you.
I'll believe the first one, nutrition. The art history and philosophy, I'm skeptical that there's that many actual job listings out there for that.
Pure fiction.
We made it up.
This is according to a recent analysis of labor market outcomes of college graduates. Are they getting jobs in their field?
They probably have a bunch of art history majors doing that analysis. Like, oh, no, it looks good to me.
So undergraduate majors with the lowest unemployment rates in the U.S. So nutrition science, construction services, animal plus plant sciences, civil engineering, special education. Yeah, a lot of mentally deficient people out there. Agriculture, early childhood education, aerospace engineering, nursing, and earth sciences. So, okay.
And these are the ones with the lowest unemployment. So
lowest
unemployment. They have unemployment below 1.5% in general. So if you have a degree in that and you work in that field and you get laid off because you had a do-nothing job at some major federal agency, you can probably go get another job pretty quick. But you will have to actually, A, show up to work, and B, do things.
Well, that's the tough part for these people.
I didn't sign on for that.
So undergraduates with the highest unemployment rates in the U.S., anthropology is number one.
Fuck them.
Yeah. We don't care about anthropologists. We got enough. And then we have physics, number two, computer engineering. Wow.
I find that kind of surprising.
Yeah, I find that surprising too. But then we have commercial art and graphic design. Yeah, that's a tough racket.
So actually, Mike, looking at this, you work on the line there. There's literally a line there. If you zoom way in, it says Mike works here.
Yeah.
Between computer engineering and commercial art and graphic design.
Yeah, I'm on that line, and my jobs are always tenuous. I always feel like I'm on the way out. And then fine arts, of course, sociology, computer science. I'm surprised computer science and engineering is so far down the list, but maybe there's just a glut in the market.
I think there's a lot of people out there, and a lot of it, as we were just talking about before, are the AI or things like that are automating a lot of what you previously needed people to do manually.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough racket. Computers. I mean, these computers.
Or I'll just outsource all this stuff and have a whole bunch of contractors out of
Mexico and India. That's the big thing.
Philippines or India, but yeah.
That's a tough one. Yeah. Employment prospects are shifting as young adults enter the real world. They are facing an increasingly tighter labor market. The number of Gen Z households receiving unemployment grew nearly 32% year over year in February, and the unemployment rate for recent college grads rose to 5.8% in March, up from 4.6% the previous year. So that's very concerning. Very concerning. Yeah. Getting into art nowadays as a degree, bad idea. If you're going to go into computers, go into something very specific. I would say network engineering, can't go wrong with that. But becoming like a computer programmer, maybe you got to be a generalist. You got to kind of know a little bit everything.
Better prospects in system administration or things like that.
Yeah. I know sysadmins who don't know how to script. They don't know how to program a computer. They're really good at all the admin stuff, like on Linux and Windows, but they don't know how to program. And it's no, you gotta know how to script.
You do need to know how to script or how to leverage scripting. Yes. Or you're doing everything manually, which still flummoxes me when I come across people like that. I was stuff I was doing 15 years ago was all automated through scripts and shit. That was my crappy shell scripts, batch scripts. Just batch files. It was terrible, but it worked.
Yeah, they get the job done.
And now 15 years later, I find people still doing it not with I'm like, come on, if I was doing this crap in 2007, what are you up to?
They'll say here, nursing is extremely resilient in times of economic uncertainty. like we are seeing right now. Of course, you always need good.
Well, and you continue to hear stories about healthcare fields where they will hire nurses or nursing assistants or certified nursing, CNA, certified nursing assistant, people with some really sketchy degrees and certifications to take care of people, and you hear horrible stories about that stuff. So be careful who your medical practitioners are, but there is lots of jobs in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Piss.
Especially for piss nurses.
Piss nurses. That's a very particular niche field, but does pay well. It does. Well, this is very concerning for young people. I think, thankfully, we don't have a lot of young listeners for them, right? That's good. We have a few.
These listeners all have young family members
mm-hmm.
who may be going into or just leaving college. So if you got your degree in, what was the one that was really high?
Anthropology.
Anthropology, yeah, you're screwed.
Yeah, remember.
Fuck them.
Also, if you note on that anthropology one there, 9.4% average unemployment rate, median early career, so they're going to hire you at $42,000 a year.
For an anthropologist, that's not good. At least if you can get a job in computers, you're talking about $80K. That's great. Mm-hmm. That's some solid money for a recent college graduate if you can get that. My God.
They're out of school, yeah.
That's great money. Great money.
And keep in mind that's going to be average across all these different locations, and that number will vary wildly depending on location.
But look at this, like nutrition science, you're getting $75,000 a year for being in nutrition science. That's crazy.
I tell you what, I'll give you $14,000.
I'm just lowballing people.
$14,000 a year.
He's been trying to hire people at his company for years.
No one's biting. All right. I think we have time for maybe one more story. Chris?
One more.
One more?
Let's see.
All right.
Oh, let me rattle off a few headlines here. Let's see what you want. We got a guy who didn't like there was no crosswalk where he wants to cross the street, so he made his own. Got in trouble for that.
What?
You have a story that says Kansas City is #1 in the world for storage and transportation of dog semen.
Wow. I like that one. That's a good one.
We have a guy who's arrested for public intoxication while practicing martial arts.
I like that one, too.
Let's see here. We have a guy in Norway wakes up and finds a huge cargo ship in his backyard.
Okay. Well, the one that the drunken martial artist might be good to put through the Seagalathon 5000.
Oh, do you have that ready?
Yeah, we can try it out. If you give me that one, then we can summarize it through ChatGPT, the story as if it was told to us by Steven Seagal.
All right, so here's this one. Yeah, and I don't know if you had a chance to go back and kind of rework that, because the early one you had was from a recent Steven Seagal interview, and the voice just kind of wasn't there.
I tweaked it a little bit.
More Steven Seagal.
I tweaked the speed a little bit, and I added a couple more files, but I'm going to leave it up to the people to decide. And, we are going to try to figure out how much we got to tweak the Seagalathon 5000. Let's see here. You got the story over there?
Yeah. Do you want me to get this summarized, or do you want to just drop all this text in?
No, let's summarize it. So what I do is I grab this. I'll just feed it to ChatGPT. Feed it yourself. We'll trade. We'll do two different versions. I'll say summarize this as if fatter, older.
Oh, that's no good. You want classics? All right, I'll do classics.
Yeah. Fatter, older, Steven Seagal was telling me. There we go. We'll see. We'll see what it comes up with. I'll bring the story up on screen for people to understand this. So, a man arrested for public intoxication while practicing martial arts. Okay, great.
Put that on my tombstone.
Yep. And here we are. Okay, so, and this is how Steven Seagal would tell us. I mean, okay. Let's see here. Okay. We'll see here. This is what Steven Seagal, how he would tell us about this story.
Picture this. I'm strolling down North Franklin Street, channeling my, inner martial arts master, slow, deliberate moves, just like in the movies. And suddenly I spot a utility pole, thinking it's the perfect opponent. I throw a punch, then a kick. But instead of a triumphant stance, I stumble and find myself on the ground. And as I pick myself up, a couple of officers approach. I explain that, I'm practicing techniques from a book to defend against dog attacks. They look at me clearly skeptical. Next thing I know, I'm being booked into Hopkins County Jail for public intoxication. Released the next morning. I now have a court date set for June 2nd.
What do you think about that, Cratch? Is that good or bad?
So wait, that was Steven Seagal. The voice wasn't too bad. I think we need to go a little more like 90s with it, like back to the kind of more whispery style.
Okay, you're talking about, I see what you're saying.
Classic Seagal, yeah. Okay. But did you have that one, that was generated as if Steven Seagal was the guy in the story?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
So I did one as if he's reporting on the story.
Okay. All right. Let's try that one. I kind of like that, yeah. So the one I had, he embodied. If he was the guy.
He was the guy.
Yeah, let's try this one.
I'm at Madisonville Wednesday night. I was here. I felt the energy shift. There was a man, and name's Michael Graham. I watched him walk northbound, barefoot sole on blacktop. He wasn't just moving. He was flowing, slow, purposeful, practicing martial arts the old ways. I recognized the form. It wasn't drunken boxing. It was a confused suburban shadow crane, rare. I saw him strike a utility pole. Some people say he stumbled. I say the pole got in his way. He laid down, not because he was tired, but because the earth needed, to feel his presence. So when the officers approached, he rose, quick, precise, told them he was training to defend against dog attacks from a book. That's dedication most people can't even spell. But the law, they don't always understand the path. They said he was injurious under the influence. Maybe he was. Maybe he was under the influence of destiny. And they booked him, public intoxication. But warriors like Graham, you can't cage the spirit. He's out now, but June 2nd, that's his next test. And if the court can't see his truth, then maybe they need to read that book.
It's not bad. That's not bad.
It's not bad. It's getting closer. I think we need to work. And Charlie mentioned it. Charlie Robinson from Macro Genshin. Thanks for listening. He said you need to kind of like to the blood bank. We're going to take you to the bank, to the blood bank. You need that level of like whispery. I think the cadence is pretty good, but it needs a little more of the whisper to it. But I think we're getting somewhere with the what'd you call it? The Seagal 5000.
The Seagal 5000.
Yeah. To the blood bank.
I will. This is what I'll do tonight.
Anybody see Richie? Fuck you.
Fuck you. I will. I'll work on it. I'll dial this in. We can have an old Seagal and a young Seagal.
Yeah, but the old one is just it's kind of like his voice is so different.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Anybody know why Richie did Bobby Lupo?
Yeah, we need that voice.
Yeah.
We need Seagal from Out for Justice, for Marked for Death, for On Deadly Ground, Under Siege. What were some of the other
Above
classics?
the Law, Out for Justice, Marked for Death, On Deadly. Everything you just said, I'm repeating.
What was the one where he was in a coma for years?
What was the one when he was on a train? Under Siege 2.
Oh, yeah. Let's not speak about that one. But
that was good. Under Siege
one he was in a coma. Hard to Kill.
Hard to Kill, of course.
Yeah.
I want you to take me someplace where I can find some drugs and some women.
Yeah, get that voice in there. But I think the cadence is good. I think a few more tweaks on it, a couple of different samples. I think we have a reasonable approximation of classic Steven Seagal.
Okay.
Some things never change.
All right. We're getting out of here, people. That was it. The Seagalinator. I mean, he told it all. There was a guy who was practicing martial arts to practice against dog attacks, which just seems that's what you do.
You have to be prepared, and if you don't have a good sparring partner, you use a utility pole.
Yeah, that's hardcore. That is hardcore.
You will be prepared.
Didn't have time to generate a Steven Seagal fighting a utility pole, but I'll work on that.
That'd be nice. The show art is probably going to be Bigfoot driving through a forest on a Vespa, talking on a phone. Hey, thank you everyone for showing up for this Saturday afternoon podcast adventure. Thank you for all the condolences and well wishes. It means a lot to me. We'll be back on Wednesday. Until then, you can go to obdmpod.com or rbigdumbount.com. I think I'll be doom scrolling on Tuesday with Sam. Maybe Union of the Unwanted on Monday. I don't know. It's up to those guys. They got a union available. I might pop over there and see what those guys are doing. I don't know. Maybe.
No.
They will. I say yes. It's up to them. Talking about UFOs, I'll be there.
Is there UFO talk?
Ricky was insinuating that they're trying to get a hold of Leslie Keene, who wrote the 2017 New York Times article on UFOs and UAPs. So I think he might be brewing something.
David!
I'm waiting for David to be on the show.
Oh, if David's there, I'm going to be there. I love David.
You'd all be dead now if it wasn't my David.
Yeah, of course. And tomorrow I will probably be playing PUBG in Discord. Sunday night is PUBG night. I'll be in Discord playing it. And if you guys want to join, well, hop into Discord. I'll be in the game streaming, and maybe we could hook up and do a game together. And I promise we will lose. But we'll have a lot of fun doing it. I have a lot of fun. Oh, okay. Well, hey, thank you, Cratchit. Thank you, everyone. Shablagoo.
Keep watching the skis, people. Apparently there's UFOs up there now.
Little blue fuck. $1,800.
At the direction of the President of the United States, in full agreement with the Governor of the State of California and the Mayor of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles is, in the interests of public safety, hereby proclaimed to be under martial law.
That's about all.
Shablagoo.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
Till next time, take care of yourself and each other.
Well, now you know the rest of the story.
You know, there's a similar story about that in China.